Welcome to the Aggressive Life. It's summertime. It's time for sunshine, the pool, cold beers. It's good, even healthy, to drop it down a gear in summer. I drop it down a gear significantly. I'm taking off a long time this summer. I took off a long time last summer, and I'm doing it because I want to be a healthier, more aggressive me next year. Last 3 years, as you know, in the aggressive life have been really difficult for me. Not the last year, but before the last years, have been very difficult for me. And I look back and I realized one of the reasons it has been very difficult for me is I had gotten away from taking a regular rhythm of a long break in the summer. I had done that for a long time. And then the last several years, I'd gotten away from it. I actually went passive. You know, I could have said, well, I stayed aggressive. I kept working like all through the summer. I was just more manic. I was more busy. The aggressive move was, gosh, I don't think I can be gone, but I need to be gone. I need to step away. And I stepped away, and it led to one of my greatest years in my life, the last year. The thing I lead has been on a total growth tear. Lib and I, our marriage has been utterly phenomenal. Probably our best, I would say it's our best year of marriage in our 35 years. I've welcomed grandkids into my life, new grandkids this last year. I've had some of my greatest adventures taking place. It's been a banner great year, and it only happened, I'm convinced, because I took a long extended break off this last summer, and now is the time I'm going to do it again. I'm not going to do the passive thing, which is to do what everybody else does and just take a week or two in the summer. By the way, if you're blessed to be able to take a week or two, awesome. Well done. I recognize that one of the blessings of my job or my life is I can dictate how much time I take off, and the board of Crossroads supports that. So my situation necessarily is your situation, but I have not done the things that I could do, which is take several weeks off in a row, and it hurt me and hurt people around me. I'm not going to make that passive mistake again. I'm going to be aggressive, and I'm going to keep doing it. So I'm doing it again this year, which means I got a bunch of weeks of content I've got to be filled up. That's what it means. And so I pre-recorded these things. I've gotten these ready. During the month of July, we're bringing you some of my favorite live speaking engagements from the past year, including a deep dive in what it means to be a protector, which was recorded live in Iowa. I'm going to talk about how to learn to hear from God for yourself. This was a talk that I gave to 3,000 students, high school students. And I'm going to preview a bunch of new content I'm really excited about, which are the 6 primal identities that make up our spiritual identity. I recorded this around a campfire, so we're going to make that a podcast. So basically, we're scraping back a bunch of things I've done and putting on the podcast. I don't think you're going to be lacking for me. I don't think you're going to be lacking for inspiration. In fact, I think you might be even more inspired this summer. Then in August, we're going to jump into a special 5-week series we're calling 5 Marks of Summer. We're going to celebrate the release of a new edition of The 5 Marks of a Man, which is a book that I wrote a number of years ago, which just continues to sell and sell and sell. And so therefore the publisher is saying, hey, we need to update this in a new edition. I said, absolutely, I'm all in on that. So that thing is going to come out as well as a brand new tactical guide that's designed to grow the marks of a man in your life. If you're a man, I know the aggressive life, by the way, is not the masculine life. This is not a man podcast. People keep thinking it is. Look at my guest list. I have men and women. This is not a man podcast. Now, I am a man. And I do speak with a masculine tongue. And I'm very sensitive to the plight of men. So it's understandable people might think that this is a man podcast. But no, this is all people who want to be aggressive podcast. And actually, truth be told, don't tell my publisher I said this, but actually, the 5 marks of a man are equally applicable to a woman. But we're going to have a fresh look at these 5 marks. You can pre-order, by the way, the new edition of the 5 Marks for a Man and the 5 Marks of a Man Tactical Guide, which is new content on Amazon right now. Look for the navy blue and army green covers. But I got something special for you right now over on Spotify. You can now search for the Aggressive Life Adventure playlist. And there are 10 of our favorite episodes. They're curated together all around the theme of adventure, because if summer is for anything, it's for getting out of your house and into an adventure. You got a road trip coming up. You got a long plane ride. You got a long day of outdoor work. Got you covered. I got it. Cue up this playlist and let it stir up your thirst for adventure. I think you're going to find inspiration for your conversations, because we're going to have conversations on that playlist with an Arctic explorer, with a legit sunken treasure hunter, with an outdoor survival expert, with all sorts of folks. And just to whet your appetite, here's a little preview of what you'll find in that playlist. Remember, search the Aggressive Life Adventure playlist on Spotify. Next week, we'll jump into week 1 of live talks for July. We'll see you then.
So he said, come hell or high water, you get down there and bring me my treasure.
I had to sleep inside a dead carcass of a bear once.
Oh, come on. You did not.
I did.
You slept inside of a dead carcass bear.
I had to
with
my client.
Dream guest for me.
And we throw grown adults on giant steel tricycles called drift trikes, if you want to Google that.
Big wheels.
Like
basically.
a big wheel. Yeah, like a big wheel made of steel for an adult. And we throw them down a hill with no brakes. And they could steer, but it's a drift trike. So if they try to steer, they immediately wreck. So they basically just get hurled down a hill over giant ramps while children and other people throw water balloons at them. It's amazing. It is amazing. So it's a lot of fun.
You could save our life. You could save our life right now, because none of us know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Correct, and that's the plan, right? Really, that's my mission, is to make sure there's fewer of those horrifying survival stories out there. I don't want them. I want people to come back safe and healthy, and even if things go wrong, to be like, woo, that was a fun adventure, but here I am, right? That's what I'm really looking for.
It's like one of the most impressive stories of survival, and I'm certainly, when I was out there pulling my sled across Antarctica, facing 60, 70 minus wind chill and minus 4-degree temperatures, and I was pulling a 375-pound sled. But I did often think of
That's the thing I want to talk about. You've been to space 3 times. Can you take us back to the first time? Were you thinking to yourself, oh, this is going to be crazy, I don't know what this is going to be like? Did you have utter pit in your stomach? Was it butterflies? What was it like the first time?
First time, second time, and third time were all the same. I was terrified.
The picture of get on your boat and go to the other side of the world. Do something, have an adventure. All the stories in the Bible that are heroic for us, they're all weird people doing weird things. They're adventures.
Thanks for joining us on this journey toward aggressive living. Find more resources, articles, past episodes, and live events over at briantome.com. Pre-orders for my new books, repackaged edition of the 5 Marks of a Man, and a brand new 5 Marks of a Man tactical guide are open right now on Amazon. If you haven't yet, leave this podcast a rating and review. It really helps get the show in front of new listeners. And if you want to connect, find me on Instagram at Brian Tome. The Aggressive Life is a production of Crossroads Church, Cincinnati, Ohio.